Well, hello, my friend. Thanks for joining me, Jim Campbell at Jim Campbell Trucking, where we talk about everything and anything truck related. Okay, in this video, we're going to discuss some things that you need to be very, very, very wary about out there on the road. But leave me a comment or two and I'll be sure to reply back as soon as I can. Okay, some of the items that we need to be very, very careful about and keep our eyeballs peeled when out there on the road. First thing, driving way too fast for conditions. Four-wheelers do it, truck drivers do it too. That speed limit that they post on the road is meant to be the safe speed for you to run in the best of weather. Clear conditions, dry roads, sunny. Good, perfect conditions. And when it's rainy and snow-covered, or ice covered or freezing rain coming down, that's not the perfect scenario where they envision to be a safe speed to run, meaning that you need to tone it down. You need to slow down based on what the weather is. Don't be hot dogging it. It's like, I don't know what some people think. Somebody's got a Jeep or a pickup truck. Oh, I got four-wheel drive. You know what, bud? I don't care what you got. If you hit a patch of ice, you're sliding. But nobody thinks like that. If you're the idiot that's out there flying by and passing everybody up, you ask yourself, wait, something's wrong with this picture. Be very, 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 very careful about not driving too fast for road conditions. I remember the worst accident that I remember actually seeing. I didn't see it happen, saw the aftermath. And I was still driving. I was coming across 40 up near Grand Island, Nebraska. Heard the guys chattering on the radio about an accident up ahead, get ready to back her down. The roads were snow covered. It was not super bad, but it was getting that way. But anyway, chatter on the radio about back her down. There's a backup, so ended up coming behind that backup. It took like 3 hours or so sitting in traffic until they finally got it moving, opened up the right hand lane, and it was allowing cars to get through, vehicles to get through. So, but anyway, as I get up there, I saw what had happened. In conjunction with seeing it and what guys were talking about on the radio, that the first tractor trailer came down and jacked across 80, and a JB Hunt truck, cab over, was flying down through, and he hit the truck that jackknifed. The JB Hunt truck hit him right where the sleeper berth meets the trailer, the nose of the trailer there. And they said he hit so hard in a cab over that he went through the windshield. And I guess it took his legs off. And I guess from what guys were saying, how true it is, but supposedly it took his legs off and they found him still strapped or, into the driver's seat in the grassy, well, it wasn't grassy now, but in the middle, in the median there. But I know when I drove by, I saw how bad that accident was, and it looked bad. So, but keep in mind that you can drive a million times too slow, but it only takes one time too fast. Think about that. Okay, number 2, dropping off a mountain way too fast. I've seen it happen. I almost did it myself once. But you got to watch coming down these mountains. You smoke those brakes, or they're going to fail on you. Standard rule that I think most people use, and they don't, they need to use. Whatever gear you use to climb that hill, when you go down the other side, you go one gear lower. You know what I'm saying? So whatever gear you bring going up, you crest the top and you come down the other side, go one gear lower than what you use to climb. Reason why is you're going to be going downhill, and that'll give you that much more, hold you back a little bit. So one gear lower than what you use to climb the hill, make sure the Jake brakes on. And as you're going down the mountain, your speed's going to pick up. Once it picks up, I used to always go like 10 miles past. So if I started off doing 25, I don't know, whatever it was, low, of course, 20, 25 miles an hour, you let it run up 10 miles above that. And then as soon as it did, you utilize what we call stab braking, where you get on it, stay on it until your speedometer backs off those 10 mile an hour and you're back to where you began at. So you get off the brake and you let it roll again. It slowly builds up to 10 miles past, gain 10 miles an hour in speed. As soon as it does, you stab brake again and stay on it until it backs down to where it was again. And then that's just a continuous thing you do, stab braking. And by doing it that way, you're not going to smoke your brakes or get to the bottom of the hill and have no brakes at all, or get an accident along the way because your brakes failed. As a side note, if you know you're going to be running mountains, get your brakes checked. If you don't know how to self-check them, have a shop do it or something, but can't be, if you know you're running down these mountains, don't do it with less than perfect brakes. I got a scare on me one time. Well, one of the first times I was out west. I was coming down Flagstaff on my way to Bakersfield, as I recall. I didn't know about the roll, one gear lower going down than what you use to climb. I smoked my brakes. I mean, I made it down okay. Looking in my rear view, I was seeing some smoke. I was sucking up a little seat, admittedly. You can't take these mountains for granted. You cannot take them for granted or you're going to pay. Anyway, be careful. Be careful with these mountains. I mean, you can't take them for granted. Number 3, you need to have tools with you. For example, everybody has little Louisville Slugger bats, but they have a little Louisville Slugger bat or a tire beater, to check the tires. Well, why don't you just get a mallet? You can get a small handheld mallet, and that serves the same purpose, beating against the tires, but now you can use it to pound something into place if you need to. And also in the winter months when your brake drums might be froze up, well, you got that mallet, you can just look underneath your tandems and beat on your drums a little bit, and the ice that had formed from frozen or whatever overnight, you break it right away and allows you to pull out and get your tires free moving. Wintertime, you got to check. You don't want to be dragging tires. Need to have a crescent wrench, not a huge one, about yay big, adjustable crescent wrench, and also a set of vice grips. Vice grips, same thing. Crescent wrench will allow you to screw it, make the jaws bigger, however you need them to be. And same thing with the vice grips. You wind them up from the bottom, it can spread the jaws out, but then when you close it, it locks into place. Between those two, between the crescent wrench, which is adjustable, and the vice grips, which is adjustable, you should be able to fit and use it for basically anything you need. Then having both of them, you could cross turn if you need to, release, trying to break something apart or trying to tighten something up. It comes in handy. You should have a screwdriver with interchangeable heads. Now, what I'm talking about, screwdriver interchangeable heads, is you can buy the screwdrivers that comes with a case, or maybe you can buy them separately, but you want the interchangeable heads so that you have an assortment. Usually what they do is they have an assortment of the regular screwdrivers, a couple different sizes, the Phillips style, but they have the stars in there, the different designs that you need for this or might need for that. And the reason why I said it comes in handy is if you lose an eyeball along the way, next time you stop at a truck stop, or you can install it yourself. You take it off and just do it yourself. Item number 4, CB scams. Now, I read a report that, believe it or not, it said that 54% of truck drivers today use their CBs on a daily basis. Only 54% use the CB on a daily basis. So these guys, that means that 46% is not using CBs. Half. In other words, almost half do and half don't. The half that doesn't, how do they know what's up ahead? I mean, you need a CB in your truck. If nothing else, I know you want to listen to AM, FM radio or audiobooks or whatnot. Well, you can keep that CB turned down to squelch. Now, it's going to cut down the amount of distance out because these are only 4-watt radios. But regardless, if you don't want to hear that squelch, which it can be nerve-wracking, you got that little squelch button where you can turn it down and take the static out. And then you can listen to your AM, FM radio. But you need to have a CB radio for other guys to tell you, for bear reports or an accident back up ahead, back or down. That'll save you a lot. If somebody forewarns you, hey, there's something going on up ahead. Well, you can think ahead. Well, hell, how can I do a go around right now? You could take this exit and loop around. Where if you don't got a radio and you don't know what's going on, you don't know what's up ahead, you keep going. Well, you done passed the exit that you could have known about had you had a radio, but you didn't. So you're sitting in a traffic backup, or you don't know the traffic's got to stop and nobody warned you about it. You might be one of those unlucky souls that might not pay attention. You glance down, whatnot, and you rear end somebody because they're all stopped. It should have a radio. It should have a CB in your truck. Bear reports, like I said, accident reports, what's going on up ahead. And another reason is a lot of your shippers and receivers still use CBs to converse with the drivers. A bigger facility, that's basically who still uses them, the bigger facilities. You use the bigger facility, and they'll tell the first 35 truckers that comes in. Could be 40, I guess, 'cause CBs are 40 channels. But anyway, they'll give each driver his own number. You listen to channel 1, you're on channel 2. Third guy in line, you're in channel 3, channel 4. Everybody's on a different channel. It has a list of who's told what. Anyway, everybody's got their own channel. So when it's time for you to either put your trailer in the door, pull your trailer out of the door, whatever you need to do, they contact you via the CB, channel that they told you to be on. And that's a big time advantage, a benefit advantage. Now you can nap and make sure you have your radio turned up. You could be taking a nap in the berth, grab some lunch in your truck, whatever. They're going to call you. You're not going to be disturbed and hearing all that chatter nonstop about calling different trucks and moving stuff around. So that's another added benefit. As much as I think CBs are a good thing, with regard to, once again, bear reports, what's happening up ahead and so forth, some guys lean on them a little too much. And what I mean by that is they get real close the night before where they're going to be. And they ain't got good directions in. And they're in a big city. And they're calling the radio, hey, anybody out there? I need help getting into so-and-so, whatever name of the company is where you're trying to find. And voice will come out the other end of the radio. Yeah, man, where you at? I can help you out with directions. Okay, where you at? You tell him where you're at. And he said, okay, this is what you got to do. You go here, go there, right, left, whatever. So driver, you go, man, thank you. So he does what he's told. Problem is, when he gets to the end where he told him to go, it's not where he wanted to be. Instead, staring right at him is a low underpass. He can't get under. He stops. Somebody runs out from the side, disconnects his airlines. Now he can't move. He gets robbed. That same thing I just described happened up in Boston, Mass. A few years back. That was a scam that they were doing. And the way you beat that is make sure you know where you're going before you leave to go to wherever you're going. It takes a simple phone call to call somebody up for final directions in. Either they're going to have an automated line where you write directions down, or you get to speak to a real person and say, hey, I'm going to be coming in on whatever route you're coming in on. What's the best way to get in your place? And you write it down. And if you're not sure, make sure you repeat it back. Okay, so if you don't mind, I'm going to repeat this back. And you read back the way you think or what you heard him say. And make sure you got it right, because you don't want to rush through that and you get to where you need to be. Oh, shit, was that right? Did he say right or left? But anyway, you should be getting those directions before you leave, not when you're, 11 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, midnight, and you're asking a stranger how you get to where you need to be. Not a good thing. Number 5, lot lizards. Don't do it. Don't do it. I tell you what, I remember a commercial back in the day. I'm going back years ago. I don't know who was running the ad campaign, but anyway, it was, think about this. And there's the way the commercial was laid out. The message they were given was, think about this. Every time you sleep with someone, you sleep with everyone they've ever slept with. Wow, that's deep, but it's true. Every time you sleep with someone, you've now slept with everyone they've slept with in their life. I think they were running that in the 80s, I think, when the HIV was going around, hot and heavy, I think. But that's why there's commercials on TV. And it made sense. I know it made me think, don't mess with no lot lizards, because you don't know what you're going to get. I don't know how many times I was sitting in a truck stop, doing my closing out that day's logbook or catching my paperwork up. I'm sitting there in the driver's seat, and I'm looking out, And I see these law lizards going from truck to truck to truck. Man, ugh, ugh, ugh. Tell you what, I remember once running across Route 30. No, I'm sorry, Route 40 through Albuquerque, New Mexico. I needed some go-go juice. I stopped, pulled off the Fina truck stop. I don't know if it's still there or not, but it was called the Fina truck stop, Fina, Fina truck stop. Pulled in, gassed her up, went in to get me some coffee, filled my mug up. I'm sitting in my driver's seat, Atlas laid across the steering wheel, catching my logbook up before I get ready to pull out. And this broad jumps up on the side of my truck, says, "Hey, honey, you want a date?" I said, "What?" She goes, "You lonely? You want a date?" I said, "No, thank you very much. Not interested." "Oh, come on." I said, "Look, I asked you once already nicely. Please get off my truck. I'm not interested." So she did. She climbed off and left. I finished catching my logbook up. I pulled out of the truck stop and went to hit the ramp to get back up on the 40. All of a sudden, I hear a "Wah." Looked in my rear view, and there's disco lights. Well, what the hell? Cop. It was a cop, of course. Anyway, so I pulled over. He comes up, and he says, "Driver, why don't you tell me about that young lady I saw getting out of your truck back at the truck stop?" I said, "Officer, you didn't see nobody climb out of my truck." I said, "I stopped and got some fuel. Here's my ticket. You want to see it?" And got me some coffee. And I got back on the road. And he said, "Nah, don't lie to me." He goes, "I saw her climbing out of your truck." I said, "Officer, all due respect, no, you didn't." I said, "You saw her climb down off my truck." And he goes, "So you're saying she propositioned you?" I said, "Yeah." She asked me if I wanted a date. Well, whatever. I said, "No." So she climbed down off truck and went her merry way. And he said, "Will you sign a sworn affidavit to that effect?" I said, "Well, what is this about?" He said, "She's HIV positive. If you sign a sworn affidavit that she propositioned herself to you, we can get her for felonious assault." I said, "Whoa." So I'll be damned. I did receive something in the mail. It's, a couple weeks after that. I did get something in the mail. Signed it, sent it back. I never did hear what happened about it, but man, scratch your head on that one. That goes to show. I mean, I always thought they were nasty to begin with, but when he said that who was HIV positive. All right, my friends, take care, be well. See you next time.